a little Miami nightlife, maybe still a little buzz on. I'm way funnier if you're a little hammered. So, by the way, I got this long list of people that are going to be joining us. Super Bowl MVP Von Miller is going to be on the set one day. How about that?
There you go.
Emmett won Super Bowl MVP one year. Pretty true. Three-time Super Bowl champion Emmitt Smith. I'm going to have to fact-check you. Larry Brown won one. Troy won one. Did Emmett win one? Whatever it is. One of the greatest rushers of all time, Emmitt Smith. And Derrick Henry, fresh off his... I know, what the Chiefs did to him. But Derrick Henry's going to join us anyway. Super Bowl MVP Emmitt Smith in 1993, I'm told. Our great statistician, Dusty. I knew that was right. How about that? That's just a short, small little segment of the people joining us.
Come visit us.
Plus some drunk Miamians.
And after the show, Nick and I will hang out, chat with you for a long time.
I legitimately will do that. Jen's going to be like, I'm sorry, I have to run. I have to go work out.
Not what Jen
I have to go work out.
She will work out.
I got to go. I'd love to stay. I'd love to stay. I'm so sorry, but I have an appointment.
No, I'm good
but I'll be there. I got nothing to do except for gamble and hang out with you guys. The gambling's in the afternoon. The hanging out with you guys in the morning.
I'm good with the people.
All.
Time for us to go viral.
Over-caffeinated, Nick.
Right,
I like
he's on 1,000 right now.
I'm excited to go to Miami, man. Paid trip to Miami. They got casinos all over the place. We got beaches, good people. Hang out with Von Miller.
Great gyms.
Yeah. See? Told you.
There was
It's a marathon, not a sprint, though, Nick.
that
You're down there for a
Derek
week.
Jeter would be elected to the Hall of Fame yesterday. The only question was if he'd get in unanimously, but that honor remains in the sole possession of Mariano Rivera, as the captain came up one vote short. Well, Mo took to Twitter to congratulate Jeter anyway. To the best teammate a player can ever ask for, your hard work, respect for the game, and selfless leadership have always served as an inspiration. Even A-Rod chimed in to the captain. Derek Jeter, congratulations on taking your rightful place in the Baseball Hall of Fame, where you will be for eternity as one of history's greatest players at any position in any era. But Pat Mahomes asked the question on all of our minds: how is Derek Jeter not unanimous?
Because I didn't vote for him. This is a touch overrated. You got guys like Chris Canny go. Just listen. I mean, how good would he have been in other cities? The only question I'm asking. I'm kidding.
No, I was about to say.
I'm not the one that didn't vote for him. No, that wasn't. No, that wasn't me. Listen, 397 people voted. One of them was a doofus, right? Like, there's either he's got to just be seeking attention, the person that didn't vote for him, right?
Or just
I think he found it.
Yeah.
Or the way that the voting works with the Baseball Hall of Fame is that you have to have a certain percentage of votes to stay on the ballot for the next year. And so maybe that voter, knowing that Derek Jeter was a lock first ballot Hall of Famer, let me put that vote to somebody else that I want to stay on the ballot and get consideration in future years. That would be the only plausible explanation for that one guy not to vote for Derek Jeter.
Everyone's upset that Bonds and Clemens aren't in. I really am mad my guy Sean Figgins got snubbed again. It's just ridiculous. 0 votes. No one can vote for him. Did you guys not play MLB The Show? One of the greatest base stealers ever in video game history. Give him a vote. Help him out.
All right, back to Patrick Mahomes now.
Yeah.
He's having quite the postseason, one for the history books. This following a career start for the history books. So the folks over at Pro Football Focus agree. They've given Mahomes their highest playoff grade since they began grading players back in 2006. Coach, how hard do you think it's going to be for the Niners defense to prepare for Mahomes, get ready to stop him?
Look, how long has Pro Football Focus been around? I mean, I know that we quote that as that's the Bible of how everybody plays at all points.
They went back. So this is of all postseason performances from 06 to now. So it's 15 years of it. They haven't been around since 06, but they have the tape to retroactively grade it. So that's to give the context to the stat.
Yeah, look, stats are wonderful, and we can make them say whatever we want. I think the Niners are going to have some significant issues. And going back, I was looking at the Titans game. I thought they did a really good job of trying to make him make post-snap decisions. And there was quite a few examples where they were showing post-safety and going out to split safety. So giving him one thing pre-snap and coming back and doing something else post-snap and forcing him to make those decisions. And I was really impressed with guys like Kelsey, who he's got such a great feel for where to sit in zones. And I think as good as Mahomes has been, the supporting cast has been really good. And that, to me, is what's so challenging, because then what Tennessee tried to do is take away those two guys. When they took away those two guys, now Mahomes hurt them with their feet. I'd say the starting point for San Fran is they got to make them throw from the pocket. And nobody seems to be able to do that, but that is the starting point, because then that pass rush will be that much more meaningful. Now, whether they can do that, I don't know.
You mentioned you got to make him throw from the pocket, and you as a former defensive coordinator, it seems to, it's not because you're rooting against Patrick, but frustrate you on a defensive side of the ball that no one can do it.
You and I have been talking about that for...
Since he came into the league.
Yeah.
Since he came into the league. I think his first real big highlight play, like the wow play, was actually in the game Jimmy G got his knee blown out in, week 3 against San Francisco at home, where he rolled to his left, then rolled all the way back to his right and threw a touchdown pass to the corner of the end zone. And it's like, okay, so this guy has a cannon arm from the pocket, but also the off-script rolling, especially rolling to his right. He's as good as anybody in the league. We saw that almost instantly. But here is the problem, I think, Canty, for teams. Aside from getting a great pass rush, there is no good coverage. He's historically great against zone, but he's almost as good against man. We have seen teams do what the Texans did. We're going to double Tyreek Hill. We're not going to let him beat us. Okay, then Travis Kelce will have one of the greatest playoff games we've ever seen from a tight end statistically. The Titans doubled both guys, something you almost never see teams do. You got 2 guys get doubled, so that means you can't rush as many. But what did that lead to? It led to not only Mahomes making plays with his legs, but Sammy Watkins had his biggest game since week 1, including the single biggest play of his career, the play that put the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. There is no good solution to the questions that Patrick Mahomes demands, along with his weapons and the play calling, demands of the opposing defense. He's played 35 games. Once he's been slowed down substantially. Against the Colts, when he was injured going into the game and re-injured his ankle during the game, and the Colts held the ball for 38 minutes. Like, all those things led to the only time the Chiefs' offense has really been held down since he's been there. So aside from that pass rush being dominant, I don't think you can slow down the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think there are any good answers in terms of dealing with Pat Mahomes and trying to limit that passing attack. I think it's the perfect marriage of skill set and talent with play calling and play design. So when you have an offensive mind like Andy Reid, and then you have a quarterback that seemingly has no limitations in terms of what Andy Reid can call, then it's going to be a tough situation. And, Coach, I know you mentioned you like the way that the Titans mixed and matched coverages. What I didn't like about Dean Pease' game plan was their rush attack. I didn't like that. The fact that they were going with the odd front and rushing 3 and then having that low-hole defender be a late spy, I think you gave Pat Mahomes too much time. And when you were in man coverage and guys were having their backs turned to the quarterback, you saw Pat Mahomes use his legs, he'd take off and he'd run. But you also saw Pat Mahomes extend the down when he got outside of the pocket and allow those receivers time to uncover from some of the zone coverages that the Titans ran. So, I mean, again, I think the plan of attack for an opposing defense in dealing with this Chiefs offense is try to hit Pat Mahomes early and often. The hits on the quarterback are cumulative. You got to hope that at some point all of those hits disrupt the timing of the passing game, because that's the only shot you got.
Just watching that game, I just got so frustrated for Dean, because there was a lot of work that went into that pre-snap disguise, and there was a lot of coverage variation. It was like 2, dropping 8. It got zone blitz, man-to-man double team, man-to-man. And he was spinning the Rolodex, but then they couldn't keep him in the pocket. So this great amount of work that went in pre-snap, post-snap, guys getting covered, and suddenly he rolls out and hits it for 30. It's like, come on, enough.
Well, it can, just real quick follow-up. Can you keep someone in the pocket if you're only rushing 3? If you're only got 3 guys on it, or are you sacrificing that ability to...
Well, here's what they were doing. They had 3 guys up front, and they were crashing one of the ends and wrapping the nose tackle. What they were doing was trying to chop up the front to limit the windows, because the Chiefs threw a lot of crossers and a lot of routes over the middle. So I think that was a part of it. And then you had that low-hole defender that was sitting in the middle, who they would then spy. And you just saw, even as athletic as Rashaan Evans is, when Pat Mahomes gets out on the perimeter, it's hard to deal with that guy.
Well, really, what you're trying to do, too, is in that mirror technique, is you want to go up and under and actually force him to spill the way you want to spill. So instead of sitting there and trying to figure out where he's going to scramble,
make him go somewhere.
You design the pass rush so that he has to go one place, and your guy sweeps over and gets him. And look, it's a credit to him that he's able to get out of that. It's just, it's frustrating to watch from a defensive perspective.
Yeah, it is.
I wasn't frustrated at all. I thought it was exhilarating. I thought it was fantastic.
Stick around, Coach. Coming up, who will Tom Brady play for next season? That's next on First Things First.